The boys were called edgy, told they'd never make it past 5 episodes. Well, here those podcast jerks are, back for season 2. The Boys in the Woods podcast. The show your mother warned you about, and that your dad was hiding in the basement listening to. Get ready for the Boys in the Woods podcast.
That's exactly how I felt, Charles. I was in the basement, hiding after that game.
I gotta tell you,
not because of the game, because of what the reasons, and we talked about this yesterday for quite a while. If you guys haven't seen any of my social media, and I kept it PG. But Charles kept me under control yesterday as I had a complete and utter Vegas meltdown, even though I didn't lay any money.
I swear you had your house on the line.
It kind of felt that way. I think Paul and Mike just stayed out of it because maybe they thought that I had lost something important to me. I don't know.
That was weird too. Then, yeah, I was like, y'all need to step in, man. Our boys having trouble right now.
It's not even legal here. It's not even legal here. Why am I worried about this? I don't know. Well, I think, like you said, I couldn't disassociate passion for the team and passion for the game, and the way it ended, I guess, is disappointing.
Well, I mean, it was very disappointing, and this is a slippery slope. Walking this edge for me is fine because I'll end up going off. I'll go off the rails. I'd even said it as it was happening. How poetic would it be if our season ended on that run?
Yeah,
on that poor tackling run. I mean, it was when Green Bay retook the lead, or when Green Bay, I don't know what happened. I think San Francisco.
Well, yeah,
I'm not sure. I can't really remember the sequence because there was so much I was frustrated about. The block in the back on the big run from CMC, plus the time clock management.
Yeah,
it was crazy. The poor spot by the referees that took the fourth down play call in question.
Yeah.
We want to argue that fourth down play call, but in reality, we had a rookie kicker who everybody in Green Bay Nation prayed when he walked out there. And I hear a bunch of people talking because today you do have more of a cushion. So these quieter voices tend to get a little louder, and he's a rookie kicker or something about confidence or something, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, no. You're making millions of dollars. Okay. I mean, and the one scenario I'm just super frustrated with, I hate pointing it out, and I don't want to dog on it, but I'm going to dog on the position itself, not necessarily the player. You're making millions of dollars. You're in the NFL. You need that. That is like your job. There is almost nothing else you do. If it's raining outside on an off day, you need to be out there kicking. It's snowing outside, you need to be out there kicking. It's windy outside, it's like literally this is your life. There should be no days off for a kicker. You are making millions of dollars kicking a football. Like, you don't tackle, you don't line up, you run. If you kicked the football wrong, sometimes you got to run after somebody who slipped a few tackles, right? Like, if we want to get to the nitty gritty of the scenario, if you're not kicking a damn football for 5+ hours a day, you don't belong in that situation. Golfers, they're out there hitting that golf ball 5 hours a day if you're an average player. Right? Everybody else out there, you expect the wide receivers to catch 200 footballs a day. You expect the running backs to be smacking their balls, right? But it's like every single video, you just see kickers nonchalantly walking around kicking a few field goals. What do they get to? Maybe 40 a day? How is that enough?
I don't know.
Because clearly the problem with our kicker in the first 2/3 of the season followed him the final third of the season. I mean, we're talking about 3 specific regular season games that you can, it's not about just one. It's on the special teams and a playoff game. I mean, I believe he missed one in Dallas.
Yes.
It's you don't get angry. You kick, you cut them. All right, see you later. That's where we'll be in the draft, which is fine. We have a first pick, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, a fourth. Yeah. So our 5th-round pick was traded to the Buffalo Bills with Rasul Douglas, and we received another 3rd-round pick from the Buffalo Bills.
It's crazy because you wouldn't think that he missed 6 kicks. Okay, 6 regular kicks. He was 81%. But in the NFL, that's just not good enough anymore.
He missed the most kicks in the NFL.
Yeah,
like we're not talking
points included, right?
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking, which is your job, which is literally your job. So we're not talking about a top 5 kicker who we have to deal with sometimes. This isn't a Mason Crosby scenario, y'all. Like this is a writing on the wall scenario. This is a kicker. We're not. You don't create. Guess on effing Tuesday, no one in their life went, man, we got to worry about Tucker. No, do you think any damn coach's locker room in the NFL on Tuesday went, we got to make sure Tucker don't get to the 50?
Right.
No, hell no. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this softness. I want to see him gone. I want to see the special teams coordinator on coals. I want to see that dude on coals because there's sparkle, there's shine, but most of the time you're just throwing out random dimes, and I'm sick of that.
Because I thought that would be one of the strongest points for that team is bringing Bisaccia on. You think that the way he was out in Oakland, you think that, oh my God, we got this guy is like a freaking guru, special teams guru, and he just didn't turn into that, or we just didn't have the players. I mean, what is it? I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't know because we had such a young team that our special teams should have been on, like the motor for our special teams should have just been going at 105 all game, wide open. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. I should turn that down a little bit.
I guess the only thing that really the disappointing thing is maybe we are disappointed as fans because of the way that it ended, the way that it always ends in that scenario, those last 4 minutes of the game, the team has the ball, you've got a 4-point lead, they score a touchdown, and then they go up by 3, and then they stop you and you can't win. It just seems like
that was
all the time.
I agree with you 100%. And that was the slippery slope because
I think that's why
I'm on the much other side of this. I'm super excited about what our team did. I'm bummed because we could have won if we weren't so young. Yeah, I mean, we had the red zone possessions. The coaching decision on that 4th down only came into question because of the stupid spot, which was literally if I remember correctly, that was the beginning of noticing that, wait a minute, the refs don't seem like they're all there today, which is something we've said all season. I mean, we've said it all season. The refs, I mean, thank the football gods, the Green Bay Packers are who they are right now. And they have who they have right now because it's the only reason you're getting this home playoff game in Detroit.
Yeah.
Another home playoff game in Detroit. But the only reason we were even talking about that in a legitimate sense is because of the egregious calls and non-call and out of this moon call at that Dallas Cowboys Lions game. And we can, and if we could grab every fan from the NFL, and we've all got a story to tell about this. And it's kind of, I ended up saying out loud at one point, if sports don't plan on fixing this problem, then why are we watching? Because soccer doesn't seem to have this problem.
No, not at all.
F1 doesn't seem to have this problem, and neither does cricket from what I'm seeing.
I got bashed on Twitter, Charles, for even bringing up the fact that they need to get rid. There's a couple plays in the NFL that are reviewable. They need to get rid of just because they're dumb. They need to bring out the clock. Clock management needs to be able to be reviewed.
If you're not going to fix the refs, bro, if you're not going to fix the refs, like you gotta give the refs safety nets. If you're going to continue, I mean, and these are smart individuals. They're lawyers, doctors. But do you hear what I'm saying? They're lawyers and doctors. This is their side piece. This is their Etsy, their Fiverr, their whatever the hell you want to call it. It's not their real job. They're not spending 4 or 5 hours a day in the off season looking at how to become better.
No.
So if they're not going to take it seriously, then why are us fans taking it seriously? I mean, the gambling aholics are going to gamble regardless. I guess we just give it to them.
Sure.
You know, we'll see. We'll see how the fan bases. We'll see how the paychecks continue to increase with only gambling money, because you're gonna eventually. I mean, are you more or less saying the collective fan base of sports is stupid? Because if you're going to continue to push this product out without any attempt to fix it, you're saying one of two things: we don't think you'll care, or we don't care what you have to say.
Yeah. It's either one or it's both. It's both, right? Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, soccer doesn't have this.
No.
Hell, I mean, I was just telling you earlier today. So I was watching the Liverpool game, and they ended up going up 4-0, and a few things kind of clicked there too. At one point, they're way down here now. Bournemouth, I believe, is how to say it. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, they were playing with 10 people, I think, the last 20 minutes. There's usually 11 on a pitch.
Right.
They were playing with 10 people the last 20 minutes due to an injury. And so frustrated, right? And I was kind of messaging y'all too, because soccer is not something that you can just watch in the background. Apparently, like, you kind of got to focus on it, or you miss the big ones, you miss the big plays, depending on the volume of the TV. And if you catch the commentator getting excited, you might be able to flip.
That's what I need TiVo for. Rewind.
So I mean, in 83 minutes, I looked away 5 or 6 times and missed 3 goals. So I'm looking up and I'm like, oh man, they only got 10 people. The one's only got 11. I said, there ain't no way they're going to try and score. They're up 3-0. They got to run out plus time. It don't make sense for them to score. They ain't like that. Hell, they tried and they succeeded. They scored. And well, come to find out, it's like goal differential, points, and everything. It was super necessary because it ended up giving them a 5-point Liverpool, a 5-point lead over Manchester City, who's got a goal differential of plus 25, which is the only reason they're in second place.
Soccer's cutthroat, man. They're cutthroat. They don't just take games off. They go out there 100% every time.
They've got goals, more or less their goal scores is 20, but a tie for third place, and where the differential comes in, where they determine that they ain't none of this wild card stuff. It's like just their goal differential. So I mean, if you only scored 13 goals, right, or but you haven't allowed a goal, and a team that has scored 20 goals have allowed 8 goals, you're going to be better than them due to the GD and the points acquired for your wins, and the same amount, yada, yada, yada. But anyways, I mean, from Arsenal down to Manchester United, you've got Arsenal, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, which they played a heartbreaker just before that. I mean, I looked away and looked down, and it was 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, and then the game was over. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, it goes so quick. The clock keeps going, so that's where they end up in plus time at the end. And the whole time, I'm just like, man, I get it, because I get super excited when I see that goal go in, man. I scream just like I'm watching The Price is Right at home. I promise you. So anyways, well done, Liverpool. But the thing that really got me right is the gentleman hurt, Salah. He's leaving to rehab injury versus Liverpool, right? But they expect him to play again for Egypt in the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, I'm not really sure when the Africa Cup of Nations is going to be, but just the fact that it's like, yo, he's hurt, he's going to go to rehab, and he plans on being back at this time. That took 2 hours. 2 hours. Bro, it's like a media Disney show for injuries, and it takes 3, 4, 5 days for us to find out here. And this damn the dude gets hurt. He gets taken off of the pitch 2 hours after the match. We find out that
tells you what he's gonna do to rehab, how long it's gonna be, when I'll be back. You guarantee my ass is gonna be back on that field. Congratulations. I'll see you in 6 weeks.
And that's from a Mr. Tom Hamilton. I mean, and the crazy thing is, I'm kind of reading this from the ESPN FC page. So I mean, the outside sports world, they ain't gonna sit here and listen to what you got to say for 3 days. Tell me what's going on so I can find out what's happening next. I love it. I'm really, really, really starting to enjoy it. And the Premier League, it was on USA Network. It was live. So
yeah,
I'm kind of excited about it. I guess it's also on the Peacock. So you get to watch quite a few soccer matches. We're coming up on the off season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between Liverpool, Manchester, and I mean, you've got a bunch down there, but it honestly, it kind of feels like it's coming down to Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, the points for in that scenario, Liverpool's at 48, the other two are at 43. The goal differential, which is really key right now, it's got Liverpool at plus 29, Manchester at plus 25, and Arsenal at plus 22. The very next one, they've got like a plus 13 and at 40 points. So, I mean, I can't really give much more other than that. I more or less, that's what I've got because I don't know anything else or how to present what I do know. So I'm learning, we're growing, we're gifting, we're seeing where we're at. We're going to learn in the Premier League is how my thought process on it. And
if you guys are fans of either Manchester or Liverpool, give us a shout out and comment down below and let us know who your favorite player is, what we can do who we should be looking up. Give us some insight on.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about Manchester City?
Yeah,
Lions just scored again. That was Gibbsy.
Back and forth, 23-17.
Finally, two good back-to-back football games coming from the NFC North. That's crazy. We'll break away, but anywho, yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. Arsenal as well. Let's see, where's our buddy playing at? AC Milan. All right, let's see. What league is that? AC Milan league play.
Is that the Spanish?
Italy's top soccer league.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, AC Milan's got Christian Plosky.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in the Series A. They're doing pretty well. They've got thirds more or less solidified, but first and second seems to be taken up pretty well with Juventus and Internazionale.
It's wild how many teams there are.
But man, I might be completely wrong with that goal differential also, because I mean it might ultimately come down to the points. It might just be straight up points. Because Juventus has a plus 23 GD, while Interin has a plus 39. I mean, and that's close up at the top. AC Milan seems to be a little bit back there. 7 points from the top, 6 from 2. But 1 and 2 is at 52-51. That might be interesting. That might be interesting to look into. That might
quite the group there. Aston Villa, Arsenal, Manchester City, and Liverpool are all within 5.
Yeah,
there's a 3-way tie there for what, basically second place, but the goal differential must be like the secondary.
So that 5 point, So the 4, so they get, I mean, three points for a win. Yeah, we're gonna have to just dig into this. We're gonna have to look into this. I mean, just looking at it, I'm like, damn. We got to find a team. I mean, obviously, we got to go with AC Milan in the Italy league. We got to go with AC Milan. We got to follow old Christian. That dude's a dog. That dude's a dog on for the U.S. men's national team. He's going to be a dog. But nice. But that hits up the soccer. Didn't mean to jump into it so quickly, but we just kind of segued to it kind of perfectly. So that breaks that out. But yeah, so to kind of wrap up that Green Bay game and the reaction of it, because the entire week leading up to the game, all we heard was how much Dallas blew it and not how much Green Bay won. And my thought process in that scenario was I kind of treated it a little bit like college football. When you have a really good college football team playing a shitty team, you get those crazy scores, and generally the really good team puts 40 on that team. But then when they go play a good defense, they tend to score anywhere between 17 to 28 points.
Yeah,
Damn mustache curls into the nose every once in a while.
Yeah,
you know.
Even with the short beard, it does that. That's getting old. It's getting old. That's what it does. The hairs grow places where we don't want them to grow every single time.
I gotta get that. Doink. But so coming into the game, I really did. I thought we had a chance. Taking points on the first drive, I loved that. I knew 49ers defense was going to be tough.
I like going into the red zone strategy too, as well.
I do.
That's ballsy, and I like it.
I did as well. I really enjoyed the coaching decisions. I really enjoyed the play calls. It's like I had mentioned towards the end, the one of the things I really dislike about our defensive coordinator is that when it's all out, I feel like the defensive coordinator leaves our players on the field to make plays. He doesn't design plays in those scenarios. He gets really nervous about the over the top. He doesn't disguise a blitz. It's our 4 versus your 5 or 6 if you leave one back there. And it's man-to-man coverage with 2 safeties on top to stop the deep ball. It's very upsetting.
The way that he coached in the playoffs, he probably saved his job for next season. It wasn't the defense's fault they lost that game.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you on that.
I'm saying it because of it's going to be hard for them because that defense showed up when it counted most, I guess.
Yeah, the players definitely made plays, but the thing that I noticed, the consistency that was with Joe Barry was, I mean, you can go all the way back to the Giants game.
Yeah,
you can go all the way back to the Buccaneers game.
You don't have to convince me.
I know it. You know, it's this. That's who he is.
Right.
I mean, and the general consensus with the fans as well was fire Joe Barry and get a new kicker. I mean, that noise is going to get really loud.
A new kicker.
It was fire Joe Barry and get a new
lingering
kicker.
In the air after all is said and
done. A lot of the fan base was happy with Jordan Love. I mean, that throw, I see what he was looking at. If he would have planted his feet and had about 2.5 seconds to gun it, Christian would have been open, but that was a terrible throw.
All right, the fan in me said, "You don't throw that ball." The fan in me said, "You don't ever throw that ball." And then after the game was over and I seen it was pouring and pissing down rain, I said, "Well, maybe they didn't think they were going to get very many more opportunities. Oh, you might as well just throw it."
I get it. You know, that was man, that Green Bay Packers team got so much experience. And it was so fun watching them these last 2 weeks when we shouldn't have been watching them at all.
Someone said this. I guess I never really paid attention. Why didn't Bosa get a late hit on Love? Like Love threw the ball. And it was 2 seconds after that.
Bosa, the late hit on the ball, 2, guaranteed 2. I could probably, if I wanted to nitpick, I could find one on the 3rd. But 2 of the 49ers scoring plays, not drives, scoring plays, had 2 penalties in them each. One was the delay of game, and the other being the clear block in the back. And if you don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, it's posted somewhere on the social media along with the perfect freeze frame shot. I mean, it was egregious.
The missed horse collar on Jordan Love that would have gave him a first down on that third down play as well.
I mean, there was
there's a lot of them. Yeah,
there were the terrible placement call, which blew my mind. So the ref that was online with the play the entire time, walking up to the play, had his foot on the line, indicating first down, but the ref that came running up the sideline and then down the line on where he thought it was ended up overruling the guy who was watching the entire play.
This was my take on it. Where the ball was on the fourth down when they went to measure is where the ball should have at least been on the third down when the ball was spotted originally. If anything, it should have been there.
I mean, that
fourth
down play, I mean,
yeah.
Every graphic in the world had it inside a yard until they went up to the ball, and then it looked like almost a yard and a half.
Yeah, like
and I think if like they would have had a moment to look at that, the call wouldn't have been a quarterback sneak. But regardless, he got it. It was just a bum call by the refs that brought that call into question. And I don't question the call at all because our kicker was terrible. It was not a guarantee that old boy would have made that.
Right. Hey, I think that the officials were waiting for LaFleur to toss the old red hanky.
It did feel too like
didn't. So they just kind of they kind of poked it down and said,
and
okay.
In the moment I was like, oh, I get it. You got to save the timeouts. This is big. You took the ball. But then as the clock ended up doing everything that it did, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that we had our timeouts. It did, like the whole scenario. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this is definitely a hindsight 2020 for Matt there. And you know, you have 56 wins and he's got a good playoff record, but you did hear the rumble about Aaron Rodgers. And the fact of the matter was, this was Matt LaFleur's first time coaching in the playoffs without the safety net of Rodgers as well. This was Matt's calls, Matt's plays, and I applaud him. I do. I don't disagree with really any decision he made this season.
No. I don't have anything negative to say about the team. They overachieved, and let's hope that next year they overachieve as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice looking into next year. And let's do that for a moment. So we look into next year. We've got a great offense battled in. I believe the stuff with Jair Alexander is off the pudding wall. We do have the looming elephants in the room that is Aaron Rodgers, dead cap space, and David Bakhtiari.
And they are probably going to have to try to find a RB2 as well, unless Wilson, or was it Williams, or the young
Wilson
guy there. Yeah, they're going to need a new, because I believe Dylan's gone.
Yeah, I believe so too.
You're not going to pay him starting running back money to stay, even though unfortunately I think it'd be great if he stayed. But I think that
listen, AJ Dillon, the person, is great. I agree, and as you can see there, definitively, I've got multiple AJ Dillon jerseys. Reese's Pieces chocolate heart. I've got an AJ Dillon for him. Yeah, I mean, and he does, but he never really became who we all thought he should be.
Right.
I mean, maybe even who he thinks he should be. You know, I mean, the quads alone, the size, the body, he started to find it a little bit. And I would love to see him come back next year on a make it or break it contract.
Right.
On a team friendly contract to make it or break it. But I mean, and I think it would benefit him also. Doing a quick thought in the league, going around to it, there is going to be a major free agent that would take the role of somewhere that would pay him more money than Green Bay. But I'm thinking because Derrick Henry is on the table, Derrick Henry is going to take that big money spot, somebody looking for that big power down running back.
If AJ, he's making 1.3, but he got a 1.4 signing bonus, so he's making 2.25. AJ Dillon, if he comes back, he's going to want at least $3 to $4 million. And I don't think Green Bay is willing to give him that, considering they could just get a rookie for $400K. You know? For me,
I
for what
agree.
he's worth. For what he's worth. I mean, if he doesn't get hurt, he's still RB2. So,
And I think a
you got
lot of that too,
well,
arguably, has to do with
the Jones
the
getting the
big
big contract.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, well, that too, but the big contracts we have hitting our cap space.
Yeah.
I think if
What's
we
the
didn't,
Rodgers
if we
thing
didn't
you're
have
talking
that
about?
big, yeah, if we didn't have that big cap space, and maybe that's something you could look into,
Is
and not
next year
you, but
is
maybe
Rodgers off next year or no?
No, it's still it's I think
It's
well
2025?
after next year he's off, and I believe it's
2025.
60.
Okay.
I believe it's a 65er, man. I want to
Yeah.
say his dead cap hit on Green Bay is 65 million.
That is why everybody is like, Green Bay's doing this with such a
I mean, what our front office is doing, dude,
I think that's more honestly, I think that's more impressive,
I'm
Charles.
so impressed with the Green Bay Packers the last 2 years. I mean, I know I'm a passionate fan, and there's the Joe Barry stink, and we can hate on that all we want. If I seen him in a restaurant, I'd buy him dinner. I swear to God, I would. I've said a lot of harsh fan passionate moments. I've had a lot of harsh fan passionate moments with Joe Barry in that conversation. So I would buy him
we
dinner.
can make reels for days off
Definitely.
of the Fireberry
But
memes, but it's fine.
he's made more than enough money. Him and his family will be fine. He'll get an opportunity somewhere else. It's time for him to go, because our defense right now arguably is the chink in the chain, which is crazy for us to say this, because I thought our defense was going to be what held this team down this year.
Yeah.
Offensively, we're young and we're all under contract. We've got Tom. I was so upset to see Tom go out on that offensive line, but the boys came in and did well. Our front four is doing really well. I think we need a little bit of inside help with the linebacker situation. We need a nice pass rusher. We need a safety, and towards the end of the third and fourth, I think we need to beef up that O line. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I think that they are going to try to add at least one more weapon though as well. And I don't think they want to go in the draft. I think they want a veteran receiver on that team
Which is probably the only one we can afford. I agree.
Well, true. And I think that's going to be a 1-year deal. It'll be a free agency.
Romeo Doubs coming into his third year. I like Romeo as our veteran wide receiver. But the thing that does kind of
depth. You want depth at that.
Well, I agree. But
I guess that depends too on the tight end situation as well.
They were just talking. They had just talked to the wide receivers. It was on one of the social medias or somewhere. Maybe it was.
Well, I seen
Channel 11
Jones
News.
is the best team he's been on.
Yeah, absolutely. The locker room is so tight. But the thing that kind of sends chills or maybe gives me goosebumps is that there is no leader in that wide receiver room. When asked who's the leader, and it was kind of, even the question itself was kind of pushed towards Romeo. Nobody's really stepping up, which is nice, which is awesome. They're building that team. But in the scenario where, remember Wicks fumbled the ball, trying to get that little bit of extra, and Jones went up to him, and who else was there was Romeo. So I don't think we need that veteran wide receiver. The Romeo not stepping up this year, I can kind of understand that. I hope to see it next year. I see Romeo Doubs being the leader in that locker room, and I hope Christian Watson gets healthy, but that's a slippery slope also. So I can see where bringing the veteran in, but man, Bo Melton, Wicks,
they don't have an issue with any of the players. There's not any players that they have an issue with it.
No,
it's going to be a tight competition next year for WR1 for Green Bay.
It's going to be great. And go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't see them taking a wide receiver in the draft. If they're going to pick one up, that's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. 100%. Because one of the best things about our quarterback, right? One of the best things about our quarterback. Yeah. Oh, man. Detroit is walking away with this. Can you feel the rumbles from Detroit all the way here in Wisconsin? Holy shit. It's like an earthquake. That's crazy. Yeah, they up 30, right? Well, they're not up 30. 30-17, 6 left. Wow.
She's over. Congratulations, Detroit Lions.
Congratulations, Detroit Lions. I mean, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy. I'm alive watching this happen right now.
I would love to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. I just don't.
I tell you what. The team that played against Green Bay isn't going to beat this Detroit team. The team that played against Green Bay is not going to beat this Detroit playoff team. I'm sorry. I do not see it.
The Lions are a different animal when they're playing at home, though.
Yeah,
when they're playing on grass, they're not quite as. Yeah, I'm not going to say they're not as flashy, but let's just. I think there's like a 6-point differential in their offense between the grass and the turf.
I definitely agree with you, but regardless of that whole scenario, the team I saw against the Packers.
Oh, Green Bay punched him in the mouth. They beat him up physically.
Green Bay played football. The 49ers played survivor.
Right.
That's all that was. And you're not going to do that against the Lions.
No.
You're not going to do that against this year's Lions. And you hate to say that, but we were young and it was a pleasure to watch us in the team. But I mean, we've got the first round draft pick. That looks like it's going to be more around 25 than 7. At the start of the year, bro, we had 7. Or it's not the start of the year, but closer to the middle than the end. We were projected a 7th round draft pick, and now we're like 23. So this will be fun. It'll be an interesting offseason. The draft's in Detroit. Next year, the draft will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we will be there one way or another, somehow or another.
Even if we're outside, we're going to be there.
We are going to be there. Even if we take the Dave Portnoy
interviewing people, we don't care.
The Dave Portnoy experience. We will show up in tuxedos and just start interviewing people.
Oh, yes, we will.
The tuxedo gets you to look at me. And once you lock eyes, I'm coming with you with the mic. That sounded weird.
Yeah.
I'm headed towards your direction with a microphone.
Yes, sir. I think the plan is going to be to have 2 people with microphones and 2 people. And we're going to have like 4 or 5, 6 of us, 2 people with cameras, 2 people with microphones. And we're going to hit as many people as we possibly can. Boom. Game.
Just insane. Yeah, I agree with you 110%.
I'm looking forward to that Buffalo game, man, tonight. Yes.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to my spaghetti and
spaghetti ball.
Is it spaghetti and meatballs or just shredded hamburger? Probably just shredded hamburger. Shredded hamburger.
Hey, Ma, meatloaf.
Hey, Ma, meatloaf. It's not my mom, though. It's my wife.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's fun. It's still fun.
Yeah. Baby, listen. As long as I have a little bit of my arugula.
It's ground beef.
Oh, it's ground beef. Yeah, shredded hamburger. Same thing. All righty. Let's see. Anything hot topic in F1 news? 1 hour F1 news. Gunther Steiner calls out Ferrari engine saga for Haas performance struggles. That feels like a pitter patter before the season. Tried to get him, and finally got him. Let's see. 50 minutes ago, former driver suggests more tire brands in Formula One could end Red Bull winning streak. So that might be something to look into. Apparently there's a tire monopoly in F1.
Yeah.
And the thought is Red Bull performs better with these tires than any of the other cars. So if we could get other tires that were better than those tires, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because if
how can you allow a monopoly on tires, that doesn't make any sense to me either.
Not only that, but okay, let's bring more tires into the mix.
Yeah.
If you bring a better tire into the mix, do you think Red Bull's not going to use the better tire, or do you think that's just gonna they're just like no, we're going to stick with this tire?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Is it more so that
let's
they just
look up F1 racing,
because let's be honest, Charles, if it is the best tire, it's not a monopoly. It's just saying, hey, we don't want people to die, we're using the best tires. That's all. Since the start of the championship, F1 has had 9 different
tire suppliers: Avon, Bridgestone, Continental, Dunlop, Engelbert, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin.
I
F1
recognize all
teams
about
must
99%
choose
of
their
those.
tires carefully based on the track conditions. Tires are a huge deal.
Oh, yes.
4th and 14. Tires are a huge deal in F1 between wear and tear, grip, and the grip, softness, hard. It's been very interesting listening to the science behind the tires. All Formula One tire companies, all F1 Formula brands. Let's see this right here. Formula One tires significantly impact a Formula One's car. That's something we had just said.
So
Yes, I mean, you've got Avon, Bridgestone, Continental, Dunlop.
Michelin.
Oh,
So
wait a
here's the
minute. Wait a
deal.
minute. Wait a minute.
Well,
wait a
they've all
minute.
been introduced. I don't know if they're all
Yeah.
being used right
From
now. but they're all being
1960 until Cooper Tire and Rubber Company. All right, okay, so I guess we got to ask, who is the current F1 racing? It's interesting. The current is Pirelli. Pirelli has been the sole tire supplier for F1 since 2011. Pirelli provides 3 different compounds of slick tire, as well as the intermediate and full wet tire for teams to utilize over race weekend. So I guess there isn't like a list of tire suppliers. There's just
been around since 1950, huh?
The tire supplier. So I wonder. Yeah, this would be kind of interesting to look into, right? Like, why is Pirelli the only tire in F1? That's weird. And then it extends Pirelli as the F1 tire supplier through 2027.
Yeah,
that was October 10th, 2023.
Yeah, if you look at the cars, Charles, it's all like their logos on every tire.
The Pirelli,
yeah, that big old P that looks like a
yeah. It's interesting. This feels like, I don't know what Detroit did, but the Tampa Bay's still on the field. That's funny. So this feels like it might be a foundational stepping stone into F1. Well, I mean, the tires are super important. We might as well look into this. I mean, the season, I believe, the season starts really ramping up February 15th, 2024.
Yeah.
So we've got a little bit of time to check into this Pirelli situation.
And that would be the Yas Marina circuit.
Nice. Under 19 Cricket World Cup 2024, Day 3 report, Sri Lanka, New Zealand open account with convincing wins. So the under 19 Cup seems to be going on.
February
Group fixtures
23rd for the FP1 Bahrain GP.
February 23rd?
Yeah. So that must be like pre-races or something.
Yeah. Nice. So that'll be interesting to look into. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. Oh, wow. Tampa Bay scores.
They're still down by score.
How awesome would it be if Tampa Bay comes back to win and we have that moment with our listeners?
Yeah. Hopefully they don't allow that to happen.
Soul, no more. Soul, no more. Well, I think that's about all I've got in the news today. Congratulations, Green Bay Packers, on a wonderful season. Shout out to Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, all them dogs on the offensive line. You know, all them wide receivers, all them rookies who stepped up this year. It was a damn pleasure watching you guys play football.
Yes.
It was a hell of a roller coaster, but it was a damn pleasure watching you play football this year. And we look forward to next year. We really do. For everybody else out there, all of our listeners, likers, subscribers, clickers, commenters, don't forget to check out boysinthewoods906.shop. That's boysinthewoods906.shop. That's boysinthewoods906.shop. For all our cool little logos, coffee cups, coasters, t-shirts, sweaters, pants, socks. I'm going to throw some underwear on there soon. Not my personally worn underwear, but underwear you could buy with our logo. Take us with you everywhere and anywhere. Underwear is allowed. And for the world, right? Check this out. Our Smile More t-shirts. This just went through the wash, I think, 2 times this weekend. I got her extra washy. The collar's hanging on real nice. Gildan comes in real swell all the time. But smile more. The world's a much better place with you in it. No matter what you're doing.